Hello there in internet land. This is episode 34 of Stop the Damn Match, your mum's 316th favourite wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Phil Lamington. Here to my left is Dr. Professor Shaymus. How are you, my friend?
Not too bad for a guy who's just finished work.
Yeah, well, I've got 3 weeks ahead of me of just pure bloody chaos. I'm the acting general manager. I'm the boss.
You're the guest general manager?
Yeah, I'm the guest raw general manager. I need the laptop.
Fucking glad those days don't ever come back.
You're telling me.
The Muppets.
Look, I'm going to say something that a lot of people probably find controversial, but Raw had been unwatchable since they did the brand split in 2002. For 20 years, it was unwatchable.
Yeah, the Super Cena era, that's what that was.
Yeah. It was just, as soon as they stopped calling it Raw as War and changed it to, like, the Titantron was that angled thing, and the move to the music song was the theme.
Hey, Move to the Music was okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't the Raw as War theme that was before it. You know what I mean?
Was that Nail in Your Eye or something? What was it called?
I don't know.
Something like that. Something in your eye.
But, I mean, mind you, I sound like I'm whinging there. That move to the music song, whatever the fuck it was called, is a lot better than whatever the fuck theme song they've got for Raw now.
It's so bad that I don't even know what the fuck it is. It's just shit rap. That's exactly what it is. And Fiend as the fucking Mania theme? Kill me, please. You know it's bad when Logan fucking Paul doesn't like it. God.
Fuck, I just had my pen run out on all over my notes. Well, I'm off to a humdinger. You can tell I haven't done this in a while. It's alright, I've got a spare pen. We're all settled in. Right. So we're about a month late on this one. It's called Life, people, so yeah, deal with it. But we're finally going to talk about WrestleMania 41.
And Backlash, to a certain extent.
To a certain degree. Here, I'll sum up Backlash. It was okay. Right, we're done.
Okay, as over-exaggerating that, I would say underwhelming.
It was undercooked.
Yeah.
You know? So we're going to go into WrestleMania 41. Night 1, the very first match was for the World Heavyweight Championship between World Heavyweight Champion Gunther and the winner of the 2025 Royal Rumble, Jey Uso. Clearly, he did not get to main event WrestleMania. So we're going to cut straight to the end, and after a powerbomb, a spear, 3 Uso splashes, Jey finally locks in Gunther's sleeper hold, and Jey Uso wins by submission.
Which is actually pretty big.
It was pretty big, yeah. But I'll give my thoughts on the match. I thought, this is the only notes I have on this match. Just a meh match. Nothing great, nothing bad. And this is supposed to be the match opening WrestleMania, and you're just sitting there going, it didn't have enough there to be an opening match on WrestleMania. Like, this felt like a match that should have belonged on Monday Night Raw. More than anything. You know, and if Jey Uso is going to be the World Heavyweight Champion and be main event Jey Uso, he's unfortunately he's got to stop watching the Young Bucks matches and making a super kick party, because you know, stealing moves from your cousin Roman Reigns moveset and stealing Shawn Michaels super kick, you got to do more than that.
And fucking Snooker's slash.
Yeah. Like, you got to do more than that. And Jey Uso is proving that he's not much more than saying yeet.
That being said, he is over with the crowd. Like, pretty massively over. He does the crowd thing and no one else does that. The Shield used to do it, obviously, but he's got that going for him, at least. That's something.
Well, I gave it 2.5 out of 5. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was not really much of an opener. At least not compared to the other one. We'll get to that. But the there wasn't too much action to it. It's just a typical Jay fight. Gunther always brings it, which is nice, but he needs another beefy person to go against, not that athletic type build. He just needs big men slapping meat. He's good like that. Or someone super technical like Daniel Bryan. That shit was really good when I think it was the Rumble that they were going at it, and fucking Daniel Bryan loved it, and even though his chest looked like ground beef at the end of it. It was okay. The payoff was nice. Seeing Jay finally get a main title was nice to see, because he does deserve it. He's been in the business for a long time. Just in the tag team scene, and see him actually do okay and be over with the crowd in the singles is really good, unlike his brother. I'll give it, a 2.5 just because it was a meh match, but the payout was nice.
And our foreign correspondent, Beck, she sent some through during the time. She gave that match a 2. Her response was, "What the hell was that crap?" But my response to that was, if it was crap, why did you give it just a 2?
Hey, it's not Omos, okay?
True. Or Giant Gonzalez. Giant Gonzalez versus Omos in a ladder match. That riveting info.
That's pre-Attitude Era Omos, that's what that was.
Armageddon Hell in a Cell with Omos, Giant Gonzalez, Yokozuna. Great Khali. Fucking broken down Kevin Nash.
King Kong Bundy.
King Kong Bundy.
Apparently.
A giant Baba.
Speaking of King Kong Bundy, did you hear the story behind him that just recently went up? They interviewed him about it.
No?
It was... people keep saying to him, why aren't you in the Hall of Fame? And he's like, I don't want anything to do with the WWE because Vince McMahon owes me either a main title shot, which he never got given against, I think, Hogan at the time for obvious reasons, or I think he owes him $250,000 or something.
Shit.
So he's pulling a Paul Heyman.
Fair enough. Yeah,
he said, fuck the business, I don't want anything else to do with it.
Yeah. Fair enough. So the next match on the card was for the World Tag Team titles, which is the Raw Tag Team Championships. It was between the War Raiders and the New Day. And you fast forward to the end of the match, Xavier hits Daylight. Is that the name of his finisher?
I think so.
And while he was pinning one of them, Kofi held their foot down so they couldn't kick out. And the New Day win via pinfall and become the new World Tag Team Champions. My notes on this were... the War Raiders are really athletic, but wow, another man match. I gave it a 2 out of 5. That match belonged on Raw.
Yeah.
What was really scary, and this is the thing about hindsight, this match was on WrestleMania and felt like it should have been on Raw. Later on in the week on SmackDown, they did a TLC match for the WWE Tag Team titles between, I think it was the Street Profits, DIY, and...
was it Axiom?
No, it wasn't Axiom. It was Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh, yeah. MCM? Yeah, MCM.
MCMG.
MCMG, yeah.
Yeah, Motor City Machine Guns. And that match blew this one completely out of the fucking water, and it was on SmackDown. That should have been on WrestleMania.
So put DLC back on Mania. That's where it first came from. Actually, no, it came from SummerSlam first. I take that back. But no, it should be put a big card match like that on fucking Mania.
That match had the potential of being the Edge, Christian, Hardys, Dudleys from WrestleMania 17.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, but it's pretty good.
No, but you know what I mean.
The triangle ladder match, there you go. Put it on that one.
No. What my point is, when you remember WrestleMania 17,
that's the headline, even over the main event.
Yeah, but the match you always remember from that one is TLC,
and the spear that captivated everybody, and the Swanton Bomb. They're the two biggest moments from that entirety of that event that people are still remembering a decade later.
Exactly. this pay-per-view, this WrestleMania, and I mean, I know we're early on into our review, and it'll become clearer as the show goes on. This WrestleMania needed that match and that moment.
Especially day one.
Especially day one. And it didn't have it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why I've given it a 2. Beck gave it a 2. Shay, what do you think?
I'm also going to give it a fucking 2. Start with the rating. But it pisses me off because we know how good both these teams are. They are insanely good, and they've had good matches in the past. What the fuck? New Day is meant to be heels. Sure, they pulled some heel shenanigans, but it's just not working. Like, they had such a huge opportunity to make it massive. It made headlines for everywhere when they did that heel turn against Big E.
Yeah.
And then they did nothing with it. They just dropped the ball and did absolutely nothing. Like, you do one of the best promos of the entire year and then do nothing. And I know this isn't Xavier and Kofi's fault because those two know how the business works and what to do. One of them's been a fucking WWE champion, for fuck's sake. And Xavier was the mastermind behind the entirety of the team. And everybody knows that he has the mind for that kind of stuff. I don't know who to blame here, but they're just treading water. Nothing's happening.
And I don't know if I've seen them on Raw since.
Yeah. And the War Raiders, one of the most athletic teams, especially for their size. Yeah, they can do some good spots, don't get me wrong. But they need to run some promos. Like, they're great comedy guys. Like, they've proven this quite a few times with the, like, mini games they were doing against the Street Profits, I'm pretty sure. That was entertaining as fuck. It was funny as hell. And then, again, they've just been doing nothing promo-wise. They're trying to be serious and stuff, but it just doesn't work.
Oh, I wonder what happened to Sarah Logan, though. Because she was
married, didn't she? She had a kid, I think.
Yeah, but then she came back as their manager named Valhalla.
Yeah, and then disappeared again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, clearly they need help.
Yeah. And
it's not a mark against them. It's just they need that extra little bit of thing to get them over.
I mean, New Day have been there for like 15 years.
Yeah.
And there's a interview not too long ago where I think it was Maven. He's really good, by the way. His YouTube channel is amazing. He was having an interview with one of the guys in the current roster in WWE, and he's like, you know, who's the locker room leader out the back? I know in my time it was The Undertaker, obviously. What is it for you guys? And they were like, you know, most people have their own buses and stuff now, and they don't hang around the locker room as much because they're just chilling in the buses, which is fair. But other than that, there was a moment they remembered with the New Day. You know, they're playing Tekken, and Xavier's gone, maybe we should be watching the show. And then it clicked to him that, you know, they've been there for 15 years and that they are the new, like, veterans now. They're the guys that need to kind of help the other guys. And it kind of occurred to them at the time, which is kind of funny to hear, that, you know, they don't realise that they've been there for that long.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kofi Kingston's been around since, what, 07? 08?
Something like that, and Xavier's been there for about the same.
Yeah, and before that he was Consequences Creed in
yep.
TNA.
Yep.
You know, so he's been around for a fair stretch.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for him, the New Day wouldn't have been as near as big as what they were. He came up with it.
Yeah.
And said, Vince, give us a chance, and he gave him that chance, and they fucking ran the field and scored a touchdown with it.
Yeah, they got the ball and ran with it. But right, so we're going to move on to the next match. Jade Cargill versus Naomi, and at the end of the match, Jade hits a freakish modified powerbomb into the Jaded, her finisher, the Jaded, and Jade Cargill wins via pinfall. Beck gave this a 2 out of 5, and I know she was excited by this match because she thinks the light shines out of Jade Cargill. Not quite as much as Rhea Ripley, but, you know, Jade Cargill's got a look. I'll ask you for your opinion, then I'll give my opinion. So we'll go with you. What are you going?
I've got to remember how this fucking match went now. I mean, I remember the finish, which is better than a lot of the matches that happened on night one. So I love Jade. She is a lot better than what she was in AEW. She's got the training she needed and is actually pulling off the power role, which she's meant to be doing, which is fucking great. She reminds me... Actually, no. She doesn't remind me of China. Rhea Ripley reminds me of China and is actually pulling off that power, I can hang with the boys sort of vibe that China gave. Whereas Jade is, I'm a tough bitch, I'm a fuck any of the chicks that try to, come up to me sort of thing, but isn't one of the chicks that's like, I can beat the shit out of the guys too. Rhea is.
Jade Cargill, to me, gives off a Beth Phoenix vibe.
Yes. Like a tough diva.
Yeah.
But she's still a diva.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Whereas Rhea is a women's superstar, as in she can do everything.
Yeah.
And even, is even more popular than the guys. Whereas the divas, not saying the divas are bad, I'm not being sexist with that, but the divas are still predominantly just the women's stuff and that only.
Rhea Ripley's got the China appeal of being not just a wrestler, but sort of cross-platform.
Yeah, she's a superstar in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
She transcended the just being in wrestling matches kind of vibe. People outside of wrestling know who she is because, clips have been shared around and people see it and people love her look.
And yeah, because she's unique and she connects with the crowd.
Yep.
Which is what you need to do
to be ultra successful.
That's right.
And it's seen as a good example of that.
China had that. Rock.
Yep. Austin. Big name, fucking Mick Foley.
Bret Hart.
Yep.
Even Taker.
Even Taker, yeah. Even in character, Taker, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you more than anyone could say that.
Yes. He was scary as fuck, even in just normal clothes. Scary as fuck. So what are you giving that match out of?
I'll give it a 3 because it was better than majority of the other matches that have been on that night. So,
well, I gave it a 2.5. My only notes were a bit sloppy.
Oh, and Naomi is just garbage. So,
yeah,
she has no charisma.
Look, Naomi is passable in the ring. I don't really know why they brought her back from TNA to WWE.
Probably because she said, "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do it. It was all Mercedes."
Yeah, it was all Sasha Banks' fault.
And Mercedes is not doing too horribly.
And she's married to one of the Usos.
That too.
Yeah.
Probably that, actually.
But, I mean, I know that Naomi went to TNA as Trinity and sort of reinvented herself. And I think she was a heel in TNA as well.
Pretty sure she was.
So her as a heel isn't too bad. I think she needs a haircut, though, because that big hair just not doing anything.
The throw ain't working.
But Jade still is an unpolished diamond. She still needs a fair bit of work.
She needs promo work. Like, she can go in the ring now, and she's, solid in the ring. She has good moveset for someone, especially for someone her size. She needs promo work. She has, other than, look at me, I'm strong as fuck, she really got nothing else. I can't tell you anything about her as, other than being in the ring, outside the ring sort of thing.
Yeah, she's an entrance, she's a look, and she's a fairly scary finisher. To be honest, I think she's almost a female Goldberg. You don't want to put her in the ring for long. You just want her to go in, kill what's in there in 2 minutes, and then walk away. Yep,
walk in, stomp, repeat.
Yeah, like Goldberg was in WCW.
Yep, the four moves of doom.
Yeah, but I mean, they knew the limitations with Goldberg. They knew you couldn't... they put him in the ring with Steven Regal and asked for a competitive match, and he made him look like he didn't know whether he was going to shit or wind or what.
Because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing was the problem.
Yeah, and I mean, when you're in there with Steven Regal, William Regal, who is a very proficient technical wrestler.
One of the best of all time.
I mean, I would have loved to have seen Steven Regal and Bret Hart.
Steven Regal and Daniel Bryan.
Oh.
I mean, they did do a Bryan Regal match, I'm pretty sure. It wasn't a big match, but they did I think it was on NXT.
Yeah, I think so.
And that was Bryan's wet dream, because that's his mentor.
Yeah. Well, he
got
got
in HBK.
Yeah. Yeah, he got trained by both of them.
I mean, imagine having HBK and fucking William Regal as your mentor. Two of the best technical wrestlers of all time. And Bret Hart, because he learned from Bret Hart a bit too. Not a lot, but he learned bits and pieces from him. But that's just a ridiculous lineup of stardom then. And HBK knew it.
Yeah.
He knew that Bryan was going to be one of the biggest things, and look at him. Retired now, and one of the most memorable names of the modern era.
And give it a matter of time. Like, he's working backstage at AEW now.
Which is good.
Give him time, he'll get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
A name like that the people are still chanting his fucking catchphrase.
Oh, yeah.
That and what? They're the two things that have transcended time.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one else's catchphrase people still say.
Oh, and The Rock's.
I mean, when The Rock comes out, but when he's not there, that was what
when he shows up.
Yeah. I mean, CM Punk was also a thing, but now he's back too, so.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to move on to the next match, which was the US title match between LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. And towards the end of the match, Jacob Fatu hit 2 moonsaults. And Jacob Fatu got the pin and the win and is the new United States champion. Yeah, I'm trying to read my... I should have been a doctor, eh? Now, there was one moment where Jacob Fatu went for a moonsault and LA Knight turned it into a BFT.
I remember that.
Like, mid-flip turned it into a BFT. That was incredible. Like, that was really incredible. And I actually felt like both men turned up and went... Unlike a lot of the matches before, they were like, oh, we're on WrestleMania. These guys went, we're on fucking WrestleMania. Let's kick it up a gear. So
you can tell the NXT guys, or the guys that have been through developmental, compared to the guys that have just been flat on the roster.
Yeah.
As they take it seriously. They're not just, oh, we're just in another pay-per-view. We're just going to have some fun. It's, oh shit, we're on WrestleMania, the biggest stage of them all. We're going to fucking rock up.
Yeah, and LA Knight and Jacob Fatu, they brought it. And it was the first time on this pay-per-view where I was like, okay, now we're on WrestleMania. The other 3 matches might as well have been on the kickoff show or something. You know? So I gave this a 3.5. Beck didn't give me a score, so I'm just going to say that because it didn't have Rhea Ripley in it, so she's going to give it a 2.5. What do you reckon?
I give this one a 3.5. It was one of the more memorable matches of night one. It's pretty solid. I'm sorry, every time I hear BFT, I just think it's a burger.
Or BLT, like it's Subway. Yeah, that's what I keep thinking. He's hit the BLT. Wait, it's the BFT. Shit.
Just throws a burger at him.
Yeah. A sub.
You're fat!
I did see Chris Van Vliet's interview with Scott Steiner. He's like, your promo with Samoa Joe, all you said to him was, you're fat. And that was it. Like, that was your reasoning for hating him, was, you're fat. And Scott Steiner went, well, do you need another reason?
Like, was that wrong?
You know, he's fat. There we go. I don't like you. You're fat. You need to hit the gym. Let's go. You don't need complicated storyline.
Speaking of Steiner, did you see when Dom won the title at Mania? He's walking past and he's like, oh, quick, to the camera, oh, quick, get this. It's Steiner on the side and he's walking past, flashing the title at him. Because he wanted a brawn. And Scott's like, you little shit. Even
oh, wait, no, we'll get to that match.
We'll get to that. But the match itself was pretty fun. Fatu is insanely talented in the ring.
Yeah.
And he can actually pull a promo off by himself. You know what I mean?
Solo!
I
love you!
It's like the guy is genuinely entertaining. He's getting a bit repetitive at the moment because he's just found something that's stuck and keep going at it sort of thing. But he is like full of energy and can do flippy dippy shit that he's not meant to do. Especially for like a Samoan of his size.
And it looks like they're turning him face now with him, like him, Solo Sikoa, and Jeff Cobb or JC Mateo now.
It'll be them two turning on, because Solo probably wants the title. It'll be them two turning on him, 100%.
Yeah.
And then fucking, he just absolutely rips him to shreds. It'll be hilarious to watch.
Yeah.
And fucking, yeah. Like, he's always good. I don't think he's had a bad match that I could name.
He's solid in the ring.
Yeah, he's not the most flashy moveset in the world, but goddamn do his promos make up for that.
He's very much like Austin. He can talk people into the building, and then the match is solid. It's nothing spectacular. It's not a catch-as-catch-can classic.
It's just some smash mouth, doing some good moves, not fucking them up. And then talking the shit out of him after,
Yeah.
He's amazing like that. And that's why I think he will be in the company for a very long time.
Oh, yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Right, so moving on to the next match. Now, originally this match was supposed to be El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio. But Rey Mysterio got injured on the SmackDown right before WrestleMania.
Yeah, the groin injury.
So he was replaced with the newest member of the SmackDown roster, Rey Fenix. Fresh import from AEW. And you know what? As much as I would have liked it to have been Andrade or Dragon Lee, like someone who's been on the roster for a bit of a spell.
Dragon Lee's nuts.
But, Rey Fenix got the call up, and I think he was just as good a replacement. I'll go as far as saying I think it would have been it was a better match with Rey Fenix than Rey Mysterio would have put on, because Rey Mysterio is starting to get a little bit old.
He still moves quick for someone who's his age.
But Rey Fenix sort of stepped it up a gear.
There's one Rey with another. They both got masks on. You can't tell.
Yeah, that's right. But El Grande Americano, he hit the flying headbutt with the loaded mask. Now, he's got to be careful doing the flying headbutt, because the previous 3 users of the flying headbutt sort of went a little bit bang bang loco, being Harley Race, Chris Benoit, and the Dynamite Kid. So he may want to lay off that maneuver.
But it's okay. He's wearing protection.
Oh, yeah,
he's got of metal.
Yeah, which would probably hurt him more.
Probably make it worse.
Yeah. But El Grande Americano won via pinfall. And Beck gave it 3. I gave it 4. Rey Fenix is incredible.
He is.
He is incredible. And Grande and that 450 moonsault that he did, that was insane. And it told a really great story at 24 hours' notice. They had 24 hours to get that match together, because they would have practiced that match with Rey Mysterio for at least a month to get it right.
I mean, there was footage of them in the Mania arena practicing.
And then it gets to 24 hours before Rey Mysterio's got an injury and can't do it, and Rey Fenix has got to jump in. Safe pair of hands. Yeah, well, he'd already wrestled on SmackDown.
Oh, essentially debuting.
Yeah, it was his WrestleMania WWE pay-per-view debut.
Yeah, so your first pay-per-view is Mania. Have fun.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And he had Vikingo in the front row as well, because WWE had bought AAA.
Yes.
Which we'll get to that a little bit later as well. But I thought it was a fantastic match, and it was a fantastic match at 24 hours' notice, which, that's a show of how good Chad Gable, or El Grande Americano, sorry.
Can't call him that.
And Rey Fenix are at just doing a lucha style match like that. So I gave it a 4. What do you reckon?
I would agree. I'll give it a 4 as well. It definitely was one of the best matches of not just night one, but of Mania itself. It was quite entertaining. Both of those competitors are insanely talented. Like, Chad Gable is a fucking freak when it comes to any kinds of maneuvers in the ring. Be it lucha, be it amateur, be it technical, be it fucking comedy. He can do everything. He reminds me of Kurt Angle a lot.
Absolutely.
And that's not just puff and smoke up his ass. That is legit. He is ultra talented. And people know that in the ring too, to the point where even some of the female superstars that be like, hey, can you teach me? That was, what's his name? That was in American Alpha with him.
Otis?
No, the chick.
No, Maxine Dupree.
Maxine Dupree, yeah. She legitimately went up to him and been like, hey, can you actually teach me? And she improved gigantically since he was tutoring her.
Yeah.
I mean, that, and you don't need to say much about Ray Phoenix. He's an absolute insane motherfucker in the ring with him and his brother.
Yeah.
Like, just watch some of the TNA matches. Specifically, if you want to watch a singular one, watch the Hell in a Cell match that them and the Bucks had. That's one of the best Hell in a Cell matches I've ever seen.
Oh, the one with the loaded shoe.
Boot. Yep.
Yeah, that was... I remember us doing one of the earlier episodes of the podcast, and we talked about that. We were gushing over that. Even Johnny, JB, he was gushing over that match. His only fault with that match, if I remember correctly, was that he felt like it didn't... The Young Bucks don't know how to tell a story. It's just spot after spot after spot.
It was like Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns. Fucking number 1, Roman Reigns.
You're welcome, Johnny.
Yeah, no, I'm actually looking at my notes here, like, because we've been doing this since, 2022, haven't we?
I think so. I've been over about 3 years.
Yeah. And,
sporadically.
yeah. It used to be a lot more regular. Yeah. Now we've taken the laxatives. It's a little less.
Work sucks, guys.
You're telling me. Yeah, so 4 out of 5.
Yeah, pretty solid match.
And then the next match. For the WWE Women's Championship, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair.
Oh, that was a match? I fell asleep.
At the end of the match, Tiffany hits the world's prettiest moonsault, and Tiffany won and retained the women's title. The drama about the build-up for this match was more interesting than the entire fucking match, except for the finish. I also noted here in my notes that they were both wearing basically the same damn outfit. And they did that all the way through the promotion for this match. They were basically wearing the same outfit. The promotion for this match was more interesting than the match because of the drama that Charlotte Flair... And I'm going to say it straight up. Charlotte Flair really needs to be brought down a peg or two. What the fuck are you doing to that
mic? Trying to adjust the mic and just beat the shit out of me with it. Oh. Hit myself in the chest.
Good on ya. Jesus Christ.
It's not my fault Johnny's a short ass.
I'll put you back in your chair next time. You can have your own microphone back.
It's too cold over there.
I don't have the aircon on. But, you know what? For me, what would bring Charlotte Flair down a peg or two and maybe clean up her bullshit attitude?
Charlotte and peg goes in the same sentence.
Charlotte getting released from WWE.
That'll never fucking happen.
She deserves it, though.
Have you met her father? Can you imagine what fucking...
No, I've met The Undertaker. I've met someone better than her father.
Could you imagine what Ric Flair would do if Charlotte got fired?
Whoop-de-doo, he's over at AEW. She could join him over there.
I doubt that.
You know, everyone complains about Tessa Blanchard. Because Tessa Blanchard is a bit of a heat magnet, but fuck me, is Charlotte Flair just going into business for herself? And she's been doing this for years now.
Problem about Charlotte is she, hands down, is one of the most talented female wrestlers, pure wrestlers there is. Not including the Rhea Ripleys, etc. But when it comes to just pure female wrestling, she's one of the best. Her and Becky are probably the two best pure female wrestlers in the business.
But here's my counterpoint to that. These are the things that she has ruined. COVID Mania, she beat Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's title. What was she doing when she won the Royal Rumble that year? What was she doing challenging for the NXT title, yet alone winning it from Rhea Ripley? She didn't help Rhea Ripley.
I was doing something different, I think. That's what they did it for.
Then there was the incident where her and Becky were supposed to swap title belts and she threw the title belt down, which was not scripted. It was not supposed to happen like that. They were just supposed to swap title belts because Becky was getting drafted from SmackDown to Raw, and Charlotte was getting drafted from Raw to SmackDown. They were the respective champions, so they were going to swap belts. And Charlotte threw the belt on the ground rather than hand it to her.
Wasn't that the one where Becky said shit about Charlotte's brother? The one that just recently died? Wasn't that it?
I think that was after she did that, though.
That was low.
Yeah.
And totally uncalled for, because the fact that Charlotte wasn't even aware that that was going to happen. But Becky, that wasn't also Becky. Wasn't Becky's idea to say that. That was told for her to say that.
But it would have been retaliation for Charlotte going into business for herself and throwing the belt on the ground.
Yeah.
You don't throw a belt on the ground unless you're disrespecting it.
100%. But you also don't bring up someone's recently deceased brother. That's kind of low.
Then there was this entire program with Tiffany Stratton where she was just going into business for herself and just talking over the top of her and just made Tiffany look like a bumbling idiot.
I mean...
And then Tiffany fired back and Charlotte was like, I don't know where that came from. Why did she do that? Well, because you acted like a bitch. You know, God, there was another incident that she did where I was just like, you know.
Yeah, what's his name in a DMs? Fucking Ludwig Kaiser in a DMs or some shit.
Yeah, that's the point. Like, that.
It's like, who cares? Like, old mate's in your DMs. And? It's like, nobody cares about Twitter anymore.
Yeah, like, you know.
Or X, whatever the fuck it's called.
And to be honest, why would Ludwig leave Tiffany for Charlotte?
Yeah.
You know. Particularly seeing that her now ex-husband, Andrade, is on the SmackDown roster as well.
You know, which apparently used to beat her. That was a thing. I think, was that a thing, or am I thinking of fucking Saraya?
You're thinking of Saraya and Alberto.
Oh, the other Mexican, okay.
Yeah. The Triple A World Champion, Alberto El Patron.
Which WWE now, so...
Oh, no. He's not in WWE. He signed a WWE contract with a Triple A. He's not coming back to the main roster.
But they're still technically in the same company.
Yeah, but they're going to keep him in Mexico.
Yeah, for good reason.
Yeah. Particularly seeing there's rumors that WWE has re-signed Paige.
Good. I hope they do, and I hope she has a fucking good run in there, because Paige can still go in the ring quite well.
That's the other person I was thinking of. She politicked so hard that Tony Storm actually walked in and said, I want to release from my contract because I don't want to deal with this shit anymore.
And now look at her.
Look at her. Timeless Tony Storm over in AEW. But that wouldn't have happened if Charlotte Flair hadn't acted like an absolute twat to her during the entire build-up of their feud.
I mean, Tony Storm, other than Rhea Ripley, has to be my favourite female wrestler.
They're the two biggest names in women's wrestling right now. Them two and Stephanie Vaquer.
She is so good on the mic. She has the best... And this isn't scripted promos. This is her just talking off the cuff like that too. She has to be one of the best ad-lib promo talkers in the roster, man or woman, right now.
Yeah.
Crazy popular. One of the top stars, if not the top star in AEW right now. Other than, of course, Kenny Omega and whatnot. But
you know what I mean? Like, you look at the biggest women's wrestlers right now are Rhea Ripley, Australian.
Tony Storm,
New Zealand born but hails from Australia. And Stephanie Vaquer from Chile.
Yep. All international. Two of them being Australian.
The only problem I've got with Rhea Ripley is when she cuts a promo, it sounds like she's reading a script. You know, she does sound a little bit wooden still.
That, and other times she's just having fun.
Yeah, but
which I think why she resounds with a lot of people is just having fun, have a good time.
But this Tiffany Stratton Charlotte match, this was, look, I gave it a 2.5.
That's generous.
But it was a sad hand job, that match. And Beck, I've converted her rant about the match that is buried on my phone somewhere. I converted that into a 1.5. I think her exact words were, "What the hell was that crap?" Again. So, what did you think of that match?
I gave it a 2. It was completely average. The only real highlight of that match was Charlotte legitimately beating the shit out of...
Yeah, she had a black eye afterwards. Like, she was...
And nearly a chipped tooth, but it wasn't chip on a tooth. It was just a part of a lip, apparently. She was beating the shit, like proper beating the shit out of her.
Yeah, she was shooting on her.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm sure that other guys wouldn't mind. Yeah, I think we get the point. Right, let's move on from that car wreck dumpster fire. We get to the main event of night 1. Here we go. It's Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk, being accompanied to the ring by Paul Heyman. Seth, after a whole bunch of betrayals, though, which started with CM Punk getting hit in the nuts by Paul Heyman. Now, I saw that one coming.
After Paul giving CM Punk a chair.
Yep. And then Roman Reigns walloping CM Punk with the chair. And then Seth Rollins has his back turned, much like how Seth Rollins attacked Roman Reigns when the Shield broke up way back in the day. Roman Reigns is about to attack Seth Rollins in the back with the chair. Paul Heyman hits the low blow on Roman Reigns.
Paul Heyman is grabbing everybody's nuts.
Hands the chair to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins hits Roman with a chair, gets the pin, gets the win. Seth Rollins walks away with Paul Heyman and the win. So, my thoughts on the match. Commentary, particularly on this match, was completely on point.
Yep.
Pat the Mac and Michael Cole were just on point. I think they had Wade Barrett with them too.
They did. I love all three of those guys.
They feed off each other. It's absolutely fantastic.
A breath of fresh air and commentating, that's a fucking sure.
Yeah, because I'll tell you this now, Corey Graves is looking a bit outdated as a commentator.
Why I'm glad he's on NXT and nowhere else.
Yeah, because just Wade Barrett has a very different feel to him, but it's fresh and unique. And then Pat the Mac is just a ball of energy, you know. And you can tell that Cole, not having McMahon in his ear telling him, yelling at him to say the damn line, is just letting him call it.
Yep, and then having fucking Pat bouncing off him because they're best friends in real life, and it resonates. Like, you can tell that they're just having a good time as well.
Yeah. Had the most dramatic ending ever. But it was honestly one of the best triple threat matches I've ever seen in my life. It was just fantastic. I gave it a 4.5. Beck gave it a 4.
I gave it a 4.5 as well.
4.5.
Yeah, that was by far and away the best match of the night. It lived up to its WrestleMania main event status. Thank fuck for that. Because I was getting very scared considering how the night was going. But all three of those guys are just magnificent at storytelling. We all thought that Rollins was really going to be a non-factor in the match. We thought it was just he's going to get a couple of moves in. And that's exactly what they were expecting everyone to think. And then they fucking gave us the good old fucking turn. Good old heel turn mid-match that nobody expected.
Yeah, well, I mean, Roman Reigns had been sort of tweening. He'd slid back into tweening, whether it was going to be a face or a heel.
Yeah, and no one knew. And
then-
Raven's kind of disappeared off the face of the earth now.
For now.
For now. But I think that's maybe because he's getting his treatment again or whatnot.
Yeah. But, or he's just taking a break or something like that. Because I think he's only a part-timer now.
He is. I don't think he can go full-time anymore because of his health, which is fair. The fact that he can still put on good matches like that and he still looks ridiculously, good.
One of the cool things about this was the intro package for CM Punk, where it was like his original ECW promo and new footage of him reciting the same promo and then coming out to having Cult of Personality played by Living Colour.
Yep.
That was seriously cool stuff.
Absolutely. It was really cool seeing him come back to that.
And the match, you couldn't fault the match.
Well, they started with his fire burns.
Yeah, that was during the video package.
Yeah, that was so cool. They switched from his old theme to his new one.
Which I've seen Killswitch Engage play that song live. When they opened for Iron Maiden last year. Yeah, they played that. End of Heartache and their cover of Holy Diver. So 3 of their songs. I didn't think they'd play any of those 3 songs. They played all 3 of them. I was just like, thank you. The only 3 of theirs I knew. Yes. And I was filming it and sending it to JB because he's a big Killswitch fan. And he's just sitting there going, fucking bastard.
Oh, didn't they did Slow Chemical as well. They did Kane's theme.
No, they didn't. No, that was Finger 11.
Oh, it's Finger 11, you're right. The ones that do
Oh,
Paralyzer.
I've got the Punisher movie soundtrack. I love that movie. Go back and watch WrestleMania 20 where the theme song is Step Up by Drowning Pool. And you're like, why can't we have those theme songs on WrestleMania?
Royal Rumble's one. Fucking Bodies by Drowning Pool.
Yeah, but the entire 2001 was Bodies by Drowning Pool.
This is true.
Yeah, the entire Invasion angle, every pay-per-view, it was that fucking song.
Even SmackDown had fucking Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, and Edge was coming out, before he came out to Metalingus, Edge was coming
Rob
out
Zombie.
to Rob Zombie.
So Never Gonna Stop.
Yeah.
I know, because I have that. So I think I have the Volume 7, which had that on it.
Yeah, I've got the Rob Zombie album that's got that on it. But, yeah, that triple threat main event, that stole the show that night. Like,
As it should.
The bar was pretty fucking low. Let's call a spade here. The bar was low. But crumbs balls, did they really make the rest of the show look fairly feeble? CM Punk got to main event WrestleMania.
And that was wholesome as fuck, not including, obviously, him getting betrayed later on, but the kiss on the head that Heyman gave him, that was just wholesome. And you could tell that was legitimate as well.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wanted, is he wanted Punk to achieve his dream of headlining WrestleMania because he'd never done it.
He's only got one step above that now.
That's winning the title.
Yeah, main eventing night 2 of WrestleMania for the belt.
Yep.
And they got to do it. They got to do it.
Put him in the Money in the Bank. There you go.
Right, so we're going to move on to night 2. Night 2, and the first match was the Women's World Title match between Io Sky, the champion, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley. And Belair hits Ripley with her hair. Then the Kiss of Death, the KOD. And then Io Sky hits the moonsault on both, gets the pinfall, and gets the win, and retains. Well, Beck gave it a 4. What do you reckon?
Wait, what match was this again? Sorry. I was repun today.
The women's triple threat, night 2 opening match. Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Belair.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I quite enjoyed this one. This was a stark difference to the early opening matches of night 1, which thank God for that. I found it quite entertaining. It's Rhea fucking Ripley. What do you expect? She's always going to put on a good match. Io is insanely good in the ring too. And Bianca, as much as I don't like her, she also is quite good, especially when paired with someone like Rhea. The fact that they can just go power like tit for tat. And the fact that they were kind of ignoring Io because she was a smaller girl. Which, lo and behold, Io ends up retaining. I'll give it a 3.5 as quite good.
Well, I gave it a 4. I thought it was a great way to start night 2. It was a solid triple threat. It wasn't as good as the night before's main event, but all three of them stepped up their game. Like, I thought Bianca Belair was going to be a liability in the match, but she proved her worth and got the match over the line. So 4 out of 5 for me. So we're going to move on to the next match, which was the Sin City Street Fight between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. It was really cool that Damian Priest came out to his entrance music being played by Kerry King, who
Slayer.
Yeah, Slayer broke up, and then he's got his own band called Kerry King. And now, apparently, even though him and bass player Tom Araya have been throwing barbs at each other, apparently they're reforming Slayer to do some tour dates this year. So, yeah. But, Kerry King played the theme for Damian Priest. So, Drew puts Damian's head against a chair in the corner and hits the Claymore against it. And Drew McIntyre wins via pinfall. Beck again gave this a 4. I'm going to give it a 4 as well. It was controlled chaos in a good way. Like, this was just balls to the wall. This is how you end a rivalry, with something like this.
Except it didn't.
Yeah. Drew's mid-match tweet, where his brother comes up to him with the phone and he takes
Bored at work.
But that was a classic moment. But it was a great hard-hitting match, and it proved that it belonged on WrestleMania. What are you going to give it?
I'll give this one a 4. It was quite entertaining, even though, because it was still relatively early-ish in the morning, I was struggling to hold my consciousness together because my coffee hadn't kicked in just yet. But this match was enough to wake me up, so that was good. But no, just two big men slapping big meat, you know. It was very, very
slapping the meat.
Very entertaining, and the mid-match tweet was hilarious, especially because Damian Priest got him back for it later when he was carrying him through the crowd and yelling out, "He's bored at work, guys." I give it, that 4 was well deserved, and that is, again, night 2 is such a stark difference to night 1.
Yeah. All right, so we get to the next match, which was the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental title between Bron Breakker, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Penta. Now, going into this match, the couple of days before at the WrestleMania press conference thing, Pat the Mac asked Bron Breakker to do some Steiner math. God, that was hilarious. I actually, as a sidetrack, I was talking to one of my co-workers at work about something. I've just rubbed black ink on my eye too. Yippee. It was on my finger.
Cheap ways to do eyeliner, just ask the Undertaker.
Oh, yeah, fucking hell. And she said something, and I said, yeah. She said, something's only 33% or something. And I started doing the Steiner Math promo to her, and she's going, "What the fuck are you on about?" So I showed her the Steiner Math promo. And she is sitting there, she doesn't watch wrestling at all, and she's going, "This is the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life." And then I showed her Bron Breakker's version, and she's like, "Look, it's not as good as the original, but he's caught the essence, you know." I said, "Well, that's his cousin. You know, the guy who did the original is his uncle." She's like, "Oh, shit. Stupid must run in the family then." But, yeah, and then for the rest of the day, her and I were quoting that promo, so the original promo. But, so during the match, Finn hits Braun with the coup de grace. It's pronounced coup de grace, not coup de grace. And then Dirty Dom hit the frog splash on Finn. Dirty Dominic wins via pinfall and becomes the new Intercontinental Champion. Now, Beck didn't give me a score, so I just filled in and gave her a 3.5. What did you think of the Fatal 4-Way?
I give it a, following most of the night, a 4 as well. Quite entertaining. Everyone's seen that it was going to be every man for themselves, that it wasn't going to be them pairing up the whole entire match, which was good. And I am happy to see Dom get a title, because he deserves it. He's been pretty solid in the ring, super reliable, and his moveset's just nice. It's not like his dad's, or it's a bit like his dad's, but he's a good fusion of Eddie and Ray.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you want. And sad to see Braun lose the title, but he doesn't need it, and especially now that he's being propped up into the main event scene with Rollins, 100% was a good idea. And I can see him going the same route that Jacob did, in a way of being propped up into the main event that way.
Yeah. Well, I gave it a 4.
Seth Rollins, I love you.
I gave it a 4. I thought it had insane carnage. Like, it was great. It told a story. Because the whole match he was sitting there thinking, is Dom and Finn Balor going to turn on each other, and is the Judgment Day going to fall apart? But it didn't, but they're still sowing the seeds of something going on. And I thought it was a really great showing for both Braun Breaker and Penta. Penta has really gotten himself over with the crowd. And he's just a superstar, and it's only a matter of time before he gets the IC strap, and they start pushing Penta on TV a bit more. Right, so then we get to the next match. The next match was Randy Orton's Open Challenge. And so Randy Orton's out in the ring. He was supposed to face Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens has got a neck injury that could see him out for 1 to 2 years, which is scary.
Mm-hmm.
So Randy Orton has coming up for his match, and he's like, I want to know who it is that I'm going to be facing, and this is who he faced.
Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. 'Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say, I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
See, everyone wonders why I've got the microphone sitting in front of the speaker in here. That's why.
Please don't sue us.
That's all right. We've played less than 30 seconds of the clip, so we're okay. So it was answered by TNA World Heavyweight Champion Joe Hendry.
Coming out with said TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, they even acknowledged him as the TNA champion. And it's the first time a TNA champion has wrestled at WrestleMania, which is an absolute mind-blowing moment. And it also led to Beck messaging me going, I told you it'd be Joe Hendry, because I thought it was going to be Rusev or Aleister Black, but Joe Hendry, pleasantly surprised. Towards the end of the match, Joe Hendry hit a move on, I think it was the fall-away slam on Randy Orton, and then does his back-to-the-camera turnaround pose. And straight after he hits the pose, he gets hit with an RKO. And Randy Orton pins him and wins. So Beck gave it a 2.5 because she's like, my boy got made look like a dickhead. What were your thoughts on the match?
I'm going to give it actually, I'll give it a 3.5, just because the surprise was fucking awesome. No one was expecting Joe Hendry to come back for that, especially now that he was the champion. Yes, it was a squash match, but you're not going to have Randy lose in potentially one of his last Manias that he's going to be in. Especially when it was his, 20th anniversary?
It was his 20th WrestleMania match.
Yeah, so you don't want him to lose on his 20th WrestleMania match. And Hendry's one of the nice guys to say, I'm getting merch out of this anyway, because he got shirts. And the popularity of being a TNA guy in WWE is just insane.
I'm trying to order one of them shirts from WWEshop.com because they're on sale. They don't get released until the end of May. What do you know? They've sold out of my size. They've pre-sold out of my size. What the hell, WWE? Sort your crap out. I want my Joe Hendry shirt.
But that goes to show how popular that is and how popular he is.
That's right. That is so true.
And that's nothing but great for TNA as well.
Oh, yeah.
Bump up their popularity having that partnership.
Look, there's so many things like Watch Culture Wrestling and Wrestle Talk and that who are like, oh, TNA got made to look like a joke and it was such a squash and rah, 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 rah. The backstage thing about it was that they knew Kevin Owens couldn't do it and they were going to, originally it was going to be either Rusev or Aleister Black. And Randy Orton sitting there going, get Joe Hendry. It'll be a massive, massive pop. Get Joe Hendry. And they spoke to TNA, and TNA was like, yeah, put our champion on there. Go for it.
And put him on your night 2 near the main event of the the night.
In front of, 70,000 people?
That'd be stupid not to say yes to that.
Yeah. And Joe Hendry's like, oh, yeah, I get to wrestle WrestleMania. Hell, with Randy Orton. Hell yeah, I'm in.
And not have a WWE contract.
Yeah. And have a shirt on WWEshop.com, it's just, you'd be an idiot to turn that down. I mean, I don't think Tony Khan would turn that down if they called up AEW and said, hey, can we have
Kenny Omega?
Omega.
I would fucking die.
Maybe not Will Ospreay, because Will Ospreay's not a big fan of Triple H, but...
I think was not a big fan of him back then. Now,
when he tried to sign him, I think it was last year, he tried to sign Will Ospreay. And Will Ospreay signed with AEW. And then someone asked him about Will Ospreay. And he didn't say Will Ospreay, but he said, some people just aren't meant for the grind of the road. And Will Ospreay knew he was having a crack at him, but I don't think Triple H meant it as a crack at him.
Dig. I think he meant it just as a comment.
Yeah, he's picked something that's got a lighter schedule. There's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
But, and then Will Ospreay got on the microphone at AEW and basically named Triple H and said,
Ran a shoot.
Had a bit of a shoot on him. It's just like, oh, God,
I mean, Cody Rhodes did the same thing. and now was the champion.
I mean, Mr. Kennedy did the same thing when he went to TNA as Mr. Anderson. He won the TNA World Title, and he sat there and said, there was a guy over in that other company who sat there and said...
Can't chew gum.
He's like, I don't think he's the right guy.
Literally just stabbing directly at Triple H.
But, big props to Joe Hendry for being in the match. And it was a great comedy match. It wasn't the biggest match ever. I do still think that Joe Hendry is fighting a shoulder, I think it's a rotator cuff injury, but it's not like a serious injury that'll put him out.
Yeah, it's just niggling.
Yeah, it's just, it's a bit of a tweak, but he knows that he's got to work hurt because he is the most popular guy.
And it'll ruin him if he didn't take advantage of that.
So mega props to him. I gave it 4. It wasn't the best match ever, but the pop and just the historic moment of it was enough for me to go, you know what, I could slap a 4 on that and be happy.
Have you seen Joe's other entrances he used to do? Because he used to do his own custom songs.
Yeah. Like the song that he wrote for Kurt Hawkins. Because he's like, I can't even remember what he said, but there was the one for Scotty Too Hottie, where he said the word was just the crappy people's elbow.
I mean, he's not wrong. And then Orton doing the fucking Joe Hendry
Doing the
pose
pose.
after. He's just having a good time.
It's kind of like at the Royal Rumble. Like he did all his thing and he hit his pose. I think Jacob Fatu hits him. You hear Shaymus go, "Why'd you do that? I was getting into that." That is so cool. You know,
Yeah, it's just them having a good time, and you can tell Orton ever since he had paired with fucking
Matt Riddle.
He's just such a changed person.
Yeah, he's enjoying it more now.
Yeah, and people realize that and like him more for it.
He doesn't have the pressure of having to be
The
guy,
Yeah.
like being the weight bearer with John Cena. He can just show up to work, be casual, do a match, and then fuck off home.
And have fun. Yep.
Yeah. So, I gave that a 4. That was a great little thing, and it's memorable. That's probably the memorable moment for the entire pay-per-view, besides the Paul Heyman turn the night before. The next match. Oh dear. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. So, after interference from Karrion Kross, who tried to get AJ Styles to use the chair on Logan Paul, but AJ Styles said, "No, I'm going to beat him properly." Paul hits the pulverizer on AJ Styles, gets the pinfall, gets the win. Right, so Beck didn't give me a result, so I'm just going to mark that as a 2, because I know she'd probably hate it, because she hates AJ Styles with a passion, don't know why. I'm going to give it a 3. The match was really athletic, but by Christ, was it a flat match. Like, it was athletic, but there was nothing behind it. It was just spots. And I thought the wrong guy won. I think AJ Styles should have won that one. Well, that's just me. What do you reckon?
I give it a 3. It was average match at best. It was the worst match of the night. As much as I love AJ Styles and Logan Paul as a wrestler, pretty solid. Don't get me wrong. But they tried to make like a full match out of it. And it just doesn't work. Like anyone else with AJ, sure. But when it's Logan Paul, just give him spots. Don't give him a full match, because as much as he wants to be, he needs more training if he's going to do a full match to tell that kind of story. Let HBK try and teach him how to do shit in the ring. When it comes to that. When it comes to spots, he can do them fine, you know? He has a moveset of... He's like a Young Bucks, actually. You could just do spots. Like, not as talented wrestling-wise, but he's a good spot machine.
You know actually who he reminds me of?
Who?
Hangman Adam Page.
Yeah,
even though he's nicked,
Hangman?
he's nicked the buckshot lariat, for Christ's sake.
I mean, Hangman, though, can tell a story in the ring, and he has done before quite a number of times well.
Just not with CM Punk.
Just not with CM Punk, yeah. But yeah, he can't do proper full matches yet. He just needs to be there for a special match. Give him a few spots. I mean, AJ is probably the best person in the ring to do that with him, to be honest. But yeah, other than that, it wasn't much to it.
And
which is a shame.
now they're teasing a match between Gunther and Logan Paul after Saturday night's main
Gunther
event.
slaps the fucking shit out of him.
Yeah, just take him to fucking school. Like, slap him the way you used to, Gunther.
Because Gunther said, like, to Logan Paul, he's like, you know, when I faced Pat McAfee in the ring at Backlash, you know, he had heart, and I respected that, which is why I raised his hand, like, and shook his hand at the end of the match. With you, I don't see any heart, and I'm going to beat the crap out of you, essentially.
And we're all going to cheer for Gunther in that one.
Absolutely.
Right. Next match. Well, you know how you just said that was the worst match of the night?
Oh, wait.
I think this next match is probably going to dethrone that one. It's for the women's tag team titles. It's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, or as I call them, HBK and Female Diesel, versus Intercontinental Champion Lyra Valkyria and the returning Becky Lynch, who was filling in for Bayley because Bayley got attacked backstage, and it was revealed later on to be Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch hits the manhandle slam on Liv. Becky Lynch and Valkyria win and become the new women's tag team champions. I gave this a 2.5 out of 5. It was a flat match, and it does nothing for the Intercontinental title because that women's IC title needs all the damn help it can get. Beck didn't give me a score for this one, so I'm just going to say she said it was a 2. Shay, how do you feel about this match?
The return was cool. Like, the surprise from Becky was cool. No, I didn't expect Becky to come back. But the action match itself was fucking shit. Like, those tag team titles have no legitimacy at all.
I think if they want those women's tag titles to be legitimate,
make them the only women's titles, not 3 sets of them.
Defend them on NXT and defend them at TNA.
Yeah, do what they used to do with it.
Yeah.
Rather than duplicating them, just make one. So then you get NXT people rocking up on Raw, or Raw people
they
rocking up on
unified
NXT.
them.
Yeah, they unified them, and then they did that for the longest time, but then they just stopped.
And then because they took the NXT tag titles off Isla Dawn and the one that's in the Hervis, the secret Hervis now.
Yeah. Big girl.
No, not Piper Niven,
Not
the other
the
one.
other one. I can't fucking remember her name now, but I know who you mean.
Alba Fire.
Yes, Alba.
Yeah, they took the NXT titles off them, unified them with the WWE tag titles. And then you never see the WWE tag titles on NXT. You got TNA's got a set of women's tag titles that are actually being defended. So why not have a dream match on a pay-per-view where it's those titles versus those titles?
Exactly.
What are you going to give it?
2.
Right.
Only because of Becky's return, that's it.
Yeah, because you can see her nipples through her outfits.
Ain't
Tell the
nothing wrong with
truth. Tell the truth. All right. Are you ready? Here we go. The main event of WrestleMania 41 for the WWE Undisputed Championship, despite the fact it's the World Heavyweight Champion on the other brand, so I think it's certainly in dispute now. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Towards the end of the match, Travis Scott takes forever to get to the goddamn ring. Like, we always thought that Randy Orton and Undertaker took forever to get the ring. Travis Scott broke the world record for how slow he could get to the ring. And then John Cena had the title belt. Cody yanked the title belt out of Cena's hands. Cena's sitting there saying, you've either got to hit me with the belt or I'm going to beat you. Cody didn't want to go that route, so he threw the belt down. And Cena hit him with the title belt, got the pinfall, got the win, put us all out of our misery of this match. Beck didn't give me an answer, so I'll give it a 2.5 on her behalf. You just take the best number and take one off it, and you've got Beck's answer. What was your thoughts on this match?
Nowhere near as good as Night One's final match. There was such a big build-up to this, and it had so much potential to be good. The main gripe I have about this fucking match is Travis motherfucking Scott coming out. Replace him with The Rock, and you have a good match. Just having Travis Scott come out there and be a piece of shit that he already is, just did nothing for the crowd. Not to mention, if I have to hear Fiend one more time, I'm going to fucking rip my ears off. Like, that was just noise. It wasn't a fucking song. It's just him saying the same word over and over and over. You know what's bad, as I said before, when Logan fucking Paul thinks you're annoying. And he's one of the most annoying people on the planet. Like, it's like, the build for it was so gigantic, and it included the fucking Rock. And at Mania, he's nowhere to be seen? Like, what? That's why even bother bringing him out in the first place. Just have Cena fucking turn heel a different way and not include The Rock in that storyline, because he needed to be there to add more legitimacy to that, instead of having one of his fucking party members or whatever the fuck you want to call it rock up, which nobody gives a fuck about, and he is just there because fucking he did the theme song. That's all it is. Fuck. I'd rather Flo motherfucking Rida to be there than Travis Scott. At least Flo Rida's not a gigantic piece of shit.
Or The Weeknd.
Yeah, or The Weeknd.
Yeah, seeing he's done the last 5 fucking WrestleMania themes.
I would rather that than Travis Scott.
Can we have fucking Drowning Pool back, for fuck's sake?
Yeah. Rev Theory.
Bodies. Bodies by Drowning Pool. 2001 all over again. Happy as. That would make me happy.
Rev Theory. Saliva. Like,
Look,
any one of those.
fucking Nickelback. I don't fucking care.
Actually, that was okay. Burn It to the Ground was pretty good.
Fucking, I don't know, get Jericho and Fozzy to play the theme. I don't fucking care. Just something better than The Weeknd
Woke
and this
fucking
Travis
shit.
Scott wank face.
This fucking woke fucking talk rap bullshit that's going out today. Like, call me old, but give us fucking rock and heavy metal or alt metal. Like, give us something that has that grungy type feel that wrestling's meant to have.
Yeah.
None of this new age fucking rap. No one wants to hear rap when you got wrestling. You want to hear rock.
Yeah, I want to hear fucking Corey Taylor.
Yeah, Slipknot. Like, fucking give me that.
You know, I mean, every time Triple H comes out, we hear the everlasting theme of fucking Motorhead.
Yeah.
CM Punk, Living Colour. Fucking Kerry King was there. And yet, this shit.
Good themes, though. Karrion Kross has a fucking amazing theme, by the way. Have you heard his new theme? recently?
No, I haven't.
Fucking after this, put it on.
Okay.
It's good.
What are you going to give the match?
I fucking, as much as I hate to do it, I'll give it a 2 because start of the match was okay. The fucky ducky bullshit that happened after wasn't. And that ruined it.
Actually, I had a response there, so I'm going to change that to...
Fucky ducky quack quack?
No, I originally had a 3.5. I must have been tired or drugged up, or that pizza must have been fucking amazing.
That was pretty good pizza, though.
That was pretty good pizza. Thanks, Pizza Hut. So I've changed it to a 2.5. It was a slow match. It was a John Cena special. Like John Cena said that if he wins the title, he's going to ruin professional wrestling. That match ruined professional wrestling because it was boring.
Well, he stuck to his word at least.
It felt anticlimactic, particularly the finish. The finish was anticlimactic. I expected more in the match. But the biggest thing, right? So before this match, you had Stone Cold Steve Austin come out in his ATV. Not only did he miss the entrance to drive up the ramp so he could drive down the ramp, then he's tooling around and crashes into the barrier and knocks some lady over. Then during the match, you've got Travis Scott who comes out gingerly at best and interferes in the match. And we're all sitting there going, where the fuck is The Rock? Right? A couple of days later, did you know The Rock was on Pat McAfee's show?
Really?
And Pat Mac said, where were you? And he said, I didn't feel like I was necessary for the story, so I didn't go in it. My question to The Rock is this. John Cena sold his soul to you, Rock. So why the fuck weren't you there for the story? Oh yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. He sold his soul to The Rock so he could be the champion. And apparently the original idea was that the dick kick at Elimination Chamber was actually supposed to happen at WrestleMania, but The Rock said we should bring it forward to Elimination Chamber when I'm there, and he can turn heel by selling his soul to me, which was great.
That was great. People love that shit because no one was
great.
expecting it.
And then you get to WrestleMania, and you're hoping and expecting The Rock to come out and interfere in the match to help John Cena win because, you know, da-da-da-da. And it doesn't happen. And you just felt like you'd just been slapped in the fucking face. And then Rock sitting there going, well, I didn't think I was relevant to the story. You're the fucking focal point of the story, you dickhead.
Yep.
It's like last year's WrestleMania where it was going to be, even though Cody had won the Royal Rumble, it was going to be Rock versus Roman for the title. And then everyone on social media bombarded him with, so Rock was like, oh, well, I think we should pivot and do this and da-da-da-da-da. And it worked out better. But this year, just, fucking Rock should not be involved in creative ideas. And the fact that he's got Nick Khan and Ariel Hawani's fucking phone numbers on speed dial so he can get whatever he wants, no matter if Triple H says this is a dumb fucking idea, is an absolute trash fucking idea. So now we've got John Cena still coming. Then you get John Cena, right? John Cena as a heel, I don't mind him. And I like the presentation where it's all black with just John Cena written on there. But then he comes out with his little fucking flag thing and his fruity fucking pebble colours. So he's still got his fucking entrance music. He needs to change his entrance music to the Doctor of Thugonomics theme.
I'll give it to him with that. He gave a reason behind that. He said, no, I'm not going to change my entrance music because that's me singing. That's my song. You know, I make money when that plays. And then he also went to say, that's also what you guys want, and I'm not going to give you guys what you want. So he actually has smart reasoning behind that. And
okay.
Fair play to him because, you know, said, that's my song. I own that because it is, because it's his own.
Yeah. It's on his album.
It's on his album, which, fair play to him, that was heel Cena being proper heel Cena. And that's what it should be, shit like that. So I'll give him a pass with that.
Oh, there's my pen. Ah, there's a hit. Jesus, fuck.
The mic's gone into work for himself.
Oh God, my mic has gone into. My mic's turned heel on me.
Didn't he turn face?
I dropped my pen. And then I couldn't bloody see it. And then I went, oh, there's my pen. Picked it up and smacked my headphones against my mic.
Would that mean it turned face, though?
Oh, I'm the one who turned babyface in this. But, you know, like, The Rock is a focal point of the story, and he's not there for the story. It makes zero goddamn sense. And all the fucking shit of everyone burying this match, it's fucking deserved. You know, and it just... for me, it kind of made WrestleMania feel like a damn squid right at the end. Like, all the good work, all the other matches put forward, and then this wet fart.
Yep.
Right. So, then we get to the cheese graters for the entire show. So, Shay, what are you going to give the entire show out of 5 cheese graters?
The entire show, it's hard because the good match was really good, but there was a lot of shit. A lot of shit. I give it a 3.5, which is a shame because the good matches don't deserve that rating, but as a whole, yep.
Well, I've told Beck that she's given it a 2.5. Law of averages. I've given it a 3.5 as well. You know, the main event of night 1, the opening of night 2, the US title match, the Fatal 4-Way, El Grande Americano and Rey Fenix, the Sin City Street Fight. Yeah. They were all good matches, but then it gets weighed down by a women's tag title match that no one cared about, AJ Styles and Logan Paul, most of the first night, and a damp squib of a main event. Like a main event. John Cena and Cody Rhodes. You expected better from both of them, and it's just completely flattened the tire of that thing.
Yep.
So, yeah. That's WrestleMania. So now we're going to discuss a little bit of something else because some stuff happened afterwards. So there was Backlash. Backlash was
Backlash.
Backlash. I can't type because I'm crap.
Just press down.
Yeah, I know. So Backlash, that was a pretty average pay-per-view. Like Randy Orton, John Cena was okay. And the Pat Mac versus Gunter match was pretty good. Everything else just felt meh. Just felt like, well, what are we doing here?
Yep.
We're just passing time until whenever.
SummerSlam. Oh, sorry, Money in the Bank.
And then we had a whole bunch of people get released from WWE.
Which is normal for this time of the year because that's when most of the contracts run out.
Including Braun Strowman, who up until a week leading into WrestleMania was featured in the LA Knight Jacob Fatu storyline. He's gone. Shayna Baszler is gone. Dakota Kai. That was a bit of a shock.
She's an injury magnet, though.
Yeah. Cora Jade. Cora Jade didn't feel like she was progressing in NXT.
No, not at all. She's stagnant.
But, June 2nd, her OnlyFans opens. So, I'll make sure I check that out.
And then the Good Brothers. Again.
Yeah. If I was them, I would not sign up with WWE ever again.
No, they're with in New Japan. They actually had a get together with the Young Bucks in New Japan, which is kind of cool. They kind of like went out and helped them out. Oh, Paul Ellering and
they were
they were
earlier.
before the early ones.
They were earlier in the year.
Sonya Deville.
Yeah, she was let go earlier in the year. So was Isla Dawn, Giovanni Vinci. I don't know who she is. Carmella. Well, her Carmella didn't get released. Her contract lapsed.
Expired. Yeah.
Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, that was a surprising one. Because
She didn't get released. Her contract expired. They said to her, "We're not renewing your contract." Braun Strowman,
Shayna
Baszler. Well, I mean, after they let go of Sonya Deville, that group with her and Shayna and Zoe Stark went nowhere. Now Zoe Stark's injured. Dakota Kai, she was just injury prone.
It was a shame because she was good, but yeah, just injury after injury after injury. That ACL just haunting her.
And being in a faction with 3 Japanese wrestlers.
Kind of a weird one.
She got lost in the mix.
Yep.
Katana Chance and Caden Carter, they got released. They were a really good tag team. I think they would be well suited going to TNA.
They were a good tag team until they weren't.
Well, until the women's tag team division became meaningless. Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan.
Yeah, Gigi Dolan, that was another biggish one.
Yeah, especially seeing like 2 weeks before she was on a TNA pay-per-view. I think a lot of these have been let go so that they can go to TNA.
I think that's right, yep.
Eddie Thorpe.
He was a bit of a...
Yeah. Gallus.
Yep, the entirety of Gallus, yep.
Well, I don't think they were doing anything with them, so...
No, they just dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Riley Osborne.
It's Chase U.
Yeah. Jakara Jackson.
NXT again.
She was tag partners with Lash Legend, but I think they're pushing Lash Legend on NXT. Aura Mensa.
Again, another NXT is like kind of meh.
Javier Bernal. Danny Palmer. Don't know.
The fact we're going who to these guys is exactly why they're getting released.
Yeah. So, yeah, that... See you later, guys. Good luck in your future endeavors. And then we had the sad story last week of the passing of Sabu.
Yes.
And in the dark match before Raw, Karrion Kross did Sabu's pose. Then when CM Punk came out to cut his promo on Raw, he stood on the apron, held his hands out, and then did the point to the sky like Sabu.
I know he's meant to be heel, but that's still a nice gesture.
That's CM Punk.
Oh, Punk, sorry.
Yeah.
Punk. I thought you said Cena for some reason.
No, CM Punk. Pat McAfee and Michael Cole acknowledged him on commentary. I think because they were in a little bit of a tribute reel for him.
The one that really got me, though, was the AEW one.
Taz,
that one where
Yeah.
even Taz was starting to tear up.
Oh, he wasn't starting. He had He was a mess. It hit him hard.
And even Excalibur beside him is also getting quite emotional as well, because Excalibur's just a good dude.
Yeah.
Like, and seeing Taz just say, he was a hell of a guy sort of thing, it was just good.
Especially when he took his sunglasses off.
Yeah.
That's when you knew, like, shit's got real.
Because he never takes his glasses off.
And he took his sunnies off. Shit got real. And then JR announces he's got colon cancer.
Yeah.
Like, I saw an interview with JR. It was like Inside the Ropes did an interview with him like a couple of months ago on a stage tour thing. As much as I love JR needs to call time.
Yeah.
He looks really like his... Back in the day, like he had a bit of a chubby face. Even when he had the Bell's palsy in the late 90s, he had a chubby face and everything. Now he's really drawn, and you can tell that he's just struggling to keep up with everything. And now he's got colon cancer. You're just like, you've given enough, JR. Go home.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you still want to do what you love because he doesn't really have anything else now that with his wife passing.
Passed away.
I get he's trying to stay with it, but he needs to find something else to do, and that's just for his health, because that has to be mentally stressful trying to keep up like that, and just for his legacy as well. Like, he has probably the most storied legacy of any wrestler by a mile. Like, he's been calling for fucking decades.
Yeah.
Like, longer than Taker, longer than fucking... He was there when Taker debuted. No, he was in
WCW.
He was WCW, right? And then he was head of talent relations later in WWE before he's commentator. But he's been in the business with all that stuff happening. It's crazy to think about that.
Yeah. And I mean, like, me watching wrestling in the late 90s, like, we had WWF, Raw is War. We had WCW Monday Nitro, and here in Australia on Foxtel, it was Tuesday nights were Raw is War.
Yep.
And then Friday nights was Nitro. And like, we didn't have ECW, but for me, like, Tony Schiavone's great on commentary. I'll always love Mike Tenay and Don West for TNA. Like, they were great. Joey Styles over in ECW, always great. But the voice of wrestling for me will always be JR and the King.
And King, yep. Those two are
even
always...
Vince McMahon was good on commentary.
Pal.
What a maneuver.
What a maneuver.
But it was always JR and the King. And, they always called the matches. And, So, JR should call time on his career. Maybe do some coaching with up-and-coming commentators for WWE. Like, if they put him on contract and just say, look, come by the Performance Center and train commentators.
Yeah, it's like, he's not in the Hall of Fame yet, is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, he is. I didn't think they inducted him yet.
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, it was Austin that inducted him, of course.
Yep. And so is Jerry the King Lawler.
Which both of them well-deserved. Cole should be. When he
Cole
retires.
should be. I think Joey Styles should be.
After his promo that he ran, probably not.
Oh, no. He So I saw an interview, I think it was with RVD. Again, it was Inside the Ropes. And they interviewed RVD, and RVD said that Joey Styles, he acknowledges that it's Joey Styles from ECW and from wrestling. He's got no ill will towards WWE. But he is a pharmaceutical salesman now.
That's such a weird turn.
But as RVD said, he was always a salesman. Even as a commentator, he was selling the product.
By himself most of the time.
Yeah. So, yeah, and Paul Heyman would push to get him in the Hall of Fame.
100%.
Especially if the Hall of Fame goes back to Philadelphia again, like if WrestleMania goes back to Philadelphia.
Yeah, and ECW headlining it, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, Sabu's already in the Hall of Fame, isn't he?
No.
Well, there's a fucking guarantee next year he'll be in
Oh, next year will be him and John Cena.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Actually, yeah, you're right, because Cena's, 100%. Cena will be the headline. Sabu will be the post-mortem one.
Posthumous.
Posthumous, sorry.
And I think Victoria will finally get inducted.
Look at Jackie.
Actually, did you know that the weekend just gone,
The weekend.
NWA ran a show, the Crockett Cup. And so this, you might find this rather interesting. So the women's title match was whoever the NWA women's title, women's champion is. Right? So there was her. It's like Izzy Page or something like that. The guest referee was Gail Kim, who got let go from TNA about 2 months ago, versus Natalya. And they acknowledged her as WWE superstar Natalya.
That's bizarre.
And Billy Corgan, from the Smashing Pumpkins, who owns the NWA, actually said, we'd like to thank WWE for letting us use Natalya in an NWA pay-per-view, and we're looking forward to
working with them in the future, sort of thing.
Yeah. So I think WWE has got an in with the NWA now as well, so we could...
That's a fucking hell froze over moment.
Yeah, wow.
Because those two hated each other at a time.
Yeah, but it shows that WWE is starting to outfox AEW a little bit. Because AEW's got deals with, New Japan...
Yeah, they got fingers everywhere, essentially.
CMLL... and obviously, they own Ring of Honor and AEW. And now WWE owns AAA.
They got their fingers with TNA.
Got fingers with TNA, fingers with NWA. They've got the NXT brand, Raw, SmackDown. Apparently, they're looking at purchasing Riot City Wrestling from Adelaide.
That'd be kind of cool. Having an Australian fucking owned WWE brand.
Yeah, Australian developmental brand.
Well,
yeah.
That'd be stupid not to after seeing, 3 massive superstars come from there.
And apparently they're trying to work with All Japan. And they've just restarted Evolve.
Yeah, which is interesting.
So they've got a lot of things, and it's almost like they're bringing back their own territory system.
Yeah, I mean, having TNA in a partnership is a massive deal because that is the third out of the big 3. You got WWE, AEW, TNA.
Yeah.
And having 2 of those 3 being coots with each other is massive.
Well, as I think someone from TNA was saying, we're getting more out of this with WWE than we did with our relationship with AEW.
Yeah. And then, AEW have New Japan with the Forbidden Door stuff, which people thought was massive at the time, and it was, but they can't hold a candle to what TNA has in star power.
Yeah.
International star power, sure, New Japan does have TNA beat with that, but not everyone in the Western world knows those Japanese superstars. That's the problem. I mean, people like Takeshita and stuff like that, massive superstars, and I didn't know about them until they started wrestling for TNA, and they're fucking great. Like, Takeshita's fucking insanely good. Fucking the Rainmaker himself, fucking
Kazuchika Okada
is insane. Like, I'd seen his matches before, but he's one of the names that I recognized. Him coming to AEW is insane.
Here's the thing. This is where the lipness test for me is. Like, you're watching AEW, and then all of a sudden Okada comes out. Like, I don't know Okada, but you sit there and go, oh well, it's someone from New Japan. The flip side of the coin is you're watching WrestleMania, and all of a sudden you hear Joe Hendry's entrance music. And you're like, Joe Hendry! I barely know anything about this guy, but they're raving on because he's the TNA World Champion. I know TNA. I'm not particularly huge on New Japan, but I know TNA. I know how big this moment is. That's the lipness test for me.
Exactly, and that's the people that don't watch other brands know who they are, sort of thing. That's the kind of stuff that TNA has over New Japan. New Japan has the talent, because majority of the people that are in New Japan are insanely talented in the ring. Not everyone in TNA is. Like, you got some pretty how you going talent in TNA, but they have the names and the star power over there as well. That's a big thing.
But yeah, like it's a whole new ball game now, though. It really is. And I think WWE's got relations with WXW in Europe as well. So they're spreading their fingers everywhere. And the fact that they bought AAA.
Yeah, it's huge.
And who's AAA's world champion again? Alberto El Patron. Formerly known as Alberto Del Rio.
Del Rio.
So, yeah, apparently all the talent have been offered new WWE branded contracts, but not WWE main roster contracts. They're offered WWE branded AAA contracts,
which have the security and the payoff of WWE with the benefits.
But I don't think Alberto Del Rio. I'm just going to call him that. Fuck it, I don't care. Alberto Del Rio. I don't think he's going to be on the main on WWE programming again.
No, as long as Charlotte's there, he won't be.
But it's really interesting now that I think it's the day before or the same day as Money in the Bank. You've got the Worlds Collide show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's branded as WWE and AAA, but I think it's going to be WWE, like, main roster, NXT, TNA, and AAA.
If it's not that, I think they'll save it for Survivor Series if that doesn't happen.
Oh, look, the rumor is it's going to be TNA versus WWE at Survivor Series.
That's going to be fucking huge.
That'll fucking yeet it into the atmosphere.
Absolutely, that will be massive. The only
in a good way, I mean.
Absolutely. The only thing that would beat that in ratings would be if some miracle happened and it was AEW versus WWE.
Oh,
that would be fucking versus TNA. If you wanted to do the old school ECW versus WWF versus
you could do an
WCW.
entire month or even 2 months of a condensed invasion angle.
Yeah. Like, a lot of people shit on the invasion angle. I loved it.
Yeah, I loved it too.
Because you didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. You had Booker T fucking interfering with Austin. You had DDP and The Undertaker, yep.
I do think, though, DDP should have gone after Rock. It should have been People's Champ versus People's Champ.
Yep. Instead of some weird stalker angle,
yeah.
Sure.
I think the only thing that's really hurt the invasion angle was they didn't have the top tier WCW guys like Goldberg and Sting.
Contracts that were still just sitting on their ass.
Yeah, but if they had left it for say 3 months or something,
Nash.
So then the invasion storyline kept going until the NWO showed up. Then you could have had sort of made it so that it was WCW and ECW versus WWE and NWO, but you couldn't get anyone to trust the NWO.
Yep, and they'll do the no one trusts them angle.
Yeah, and it becomes this, will they or won't they work nicely with WWE? When are they going to betray everyone?
The same thing they did with Austin's role in that.
Yeah.
Is he or isn't he DTA sort of thing?
Yeah. You know, and it would have worked so much better, but hindsight is 2020. You know?
I mean, the way that they did that still is probably one of the best ways to do that. Is have Shane McMahon rock up on a simulcast of fucking WCW, and people just lose their fucking minds because no one knew what the fuck was going on.
And it shows how big a mark Tony Khan is when he bought Ring of Honor. He's like, there is no Shane. There is no Shane. I bought it. There is no Shane.
I love the fact that Tony Khan is just a big nerd.
Yeah, I watched a video that What Culture did a couple of days ago, and they're like, what Tony Khan mistakes would you erase? And Adam Wilborn said something that I think was absolutely on point. He said it's not a mistake. It's not something you'd erase, but you tell Tony Khan to start saying no to people.
Yep.
You know, specifically stuff that either Mox is doing with this Death Riders thing.
Yeah, it's just, he's trying to be a fucking hard ass. It's just, it works for him, but not when he's got a faction.
and letting the Young Bucks just do whatever they want. Like, someone's got to reel them in.
I mean, they're EVPs. They got pretty much freaked. They're essentially what Hogan was to WCW.
So, but there's a lot of people thinking that when John Moxley's contract is up, that WWE is going to try and get Moxley back in WWE.
I'd like to see it.
You know,
I think he would, given the how it is now.
yeah, it'd be an interesting dynamic again having Dean Ambrose show back up. Don't even call him Dean Ambrose. Bring him back as John Moxley again. And how he interacts with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins.
Just have him just have them walking back like backstage, and just him just being in the corner.
Yeah, like, you know, or him attacking them both from behind with a steel chair.
Yeah.
You know? Right. So I think that we've covered everything.
I think so.
I think so. So I think the next pay-per-view is Money in the Bank.
It is.
And that should be a good one. Alexa Bliss is already qualified for Money in the Bank.
A few of the males have as well.
And I'm pretty sure Alexa Bliss is qualified for things to do with Johnny. Roxanne Perez is also qualified for Money in the Bank. I'm pretty sure Julia's going to qualify for it too, because she's on SmackDown now. She's on the main roster. I wouldn't mind betting that either Cody Rhodes returns and wins Money in the Bank, or Bron Breakker wins it.
Maybe it depends on who the rest, because I don't know actually where it's going to go now.
Or, what if LA Knight wins it?
Maybe who's he going to face though?
But he would have to change brands and go to Raw, and win the world title off Jey Uso.
I mean, that'd give him an opportunity to do that. So maybe.
But he'd have to turn heel as well.
Yeah, and I don't think he suits as a tweener role, like an anti-hero.
Yeah, that's his wheelhouse right there.
Yeah, anti-hero is his role.
But that's the great thing about where we are with WWE. Besides John Cena's shitty main event from WrestleMania, is that you don't know what's coming up next. You don't know where it's going, but it's still simple storytelling. And it really is washing the bad taste of Vince McMahon out of the mouth. Right. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Sorry it's taken so long for us to do this one. It's a thing called life. So, yeah, get over it. But thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. You can listen to this on Spotify and on YouTube if you're not listening to them already. And, yes, on behalf of Shay and myself, thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time. Until then, it is goodbye.